Okay, so I just wanted to go over the small changes that I made on the car today. When I said minor changes, I actually did mean minor. There's not much that's different. Um, we did install two new couplers going to the intercooler, and then while I was there, I just made some minor adjustments to the piping fitment. Um, and we did get rid of the vacuum block assembly and kind of just went back to a more simple layout for vacuum lines and stuff like that. Um, we did move the boost gauge sensor to the blow off valve since I had an extra fitting there, and then just went directly to manifold on the source line there. We also installed a Y fitting into this line that has a line that goes to the fuel pressure regulator, with some nicer uh, constant tension clamps installed on all these fittings. So before, some of those just had a super tight zip tie. Now we have proper clamps installed. Same thing with the turbo and all the boost controller lines. We have much nicer clamps that are not an eyesore and not zip ties, so that's good. We also got rid of the braided nylon breather lines that were going to my catch can, and I replaced those with PTFE rubber lines that are oil and fuel rated. And then I did reroute this side, instead of coming up kind of like it was before where it had a loop clamp here. It does go lower and behind the manifold there. I did also install some heat shield wrap on the fuel line that kind of runs back there, and also the breather line that runs to that valve cover. So we kind of want to make sure, since that's where most of the heat's coming from in the engine bay, anything that's around this area that's wiring or a line that contains fluid or anything is going to keep the heat out of it, so that's why I have this shielding up there, because that's where my modified harness is for the gauges and sensors. And then we have those two hoses running right there for fuel and breather line to the valve cover. So those are shielded now and protected. But yeah, that's really all I did. We ran all new lines going to the catch can, which is down here in this area, kind of in front of the wheel well. I've had some questions and comments on why I put it there, and mainly it's a big catch can. There's not any space in the engine bay for it. I've had people say, well, what if, you have issues where, the oil gets on the tire? I have not had that problem yet. It's a pretty large capacity catch can. It's like a gallon. So it would have to push a megaton of oil, plus get through all the baffling and the filter to even potentially get on the tire. And this car's had this setup for over 2 years and has never had that issue. Really, the only other place to put that would be remote in the trunk. But for right now, for the last 2 years, I've had no issues having it there, and it's out of the way, and it's easy to service. There's a drain right under the car to drain that catch can. And if I take the bumper off, the fittings are right there, right smack in your face. So it's pretty easy to service, and I have no issues running it there. The only thing I would add maybe is a diaper, but that's all I would change. And then we also do have a catch pan under the engine there. So that's really the big things I did today. Just a few things just to kind of clean it up. There are still areas that need improvement. However, I just kind of thought that vacuum block was an eyesore, and I definitely needed to put the nicer hose clamps on. So got those things done, got them nicer, better rubber PTFE lines installed. And and if anyone's wondering, the valve covers are -8 lines, and then the main breather is a -12, or aught, whatever you want to call it. I just call it dash. But anyways, that's really all I did today, and I test drove it. Car runs great. No hoses or anything popped off under boost or heavy hard driving. So yeah, there's just a run through of what I did today. Doesn't look like a whole lot, but took me about 4 to 5 hours. But yeah, thanks.